In a world where the price of a dream is skyrocketing, we're forced to ask, is higher education the priceless investment of our future or just an expensive illusion? Hello and welcome to Economically Speaking. I'm Bhavya and today we're tackling the million dollar question. Is higher education actually worth it? We'll be crunching the numbers, busting some myths, and figuring out if so many years of burning the midnight oil and those late night cramming sessions are actually paying off financially. So, whether you're a student weighing your options, a parent thinking where their investment should go, or just someone who's curious about the economics behind those graduation caps, do stick around. So let's talk money, shall we? Because wow, college isn't cheap and the price tags just keep getting bigger. In India, the range is mind boggling. Did you even know that at government colleges, you might pay as little as rupees 10,000 per year? Thankfully, I'm in one. But whereas at prestigious private institutions, that number can skyrocket to rupees 10 lakhs or more. Well, that's like 100 times difference. Here's a fun fact that might make you spit out your chai. The fees at some private medical colleges in India can exceed 1 crore rupees for the entire MBBS program, which is actually enough to buy about 25 compact cars. Now, at the same time, the competition for affordable government seats is fierce. The JEE advanced exams for IITs have an acceptance rate of less than a percent, which make Harvard look like a safe school with its acceptance rate of 5%. And financing? The education loan market in India has exploded rupees 75,000 crores, with the average loan size increasing by nowhere less than 40% in the last 5 years. For perspective, if you stack up rupees 75,000 crores in 500 rupees notes, it would reach about 600 kilometers high. But here's where it gets interesting. While we worry about rising costs, university education remains completely free in Scandinavian countries like Finland and Norway. Yes, free. Even for many international students as well. And they're consistently ranked among the world's best education systems. So what is their philosophy? The philosophy is education is an investment society makes in itself and not a consumer product. I repeat, not a consumer product. So college is expensive, but is it worth it? Let's follow the money. In India, the earnings gap is significant. A graduate earns about 2.5 times more than someone with just 12th standard education. But, and this is a massive but, where and what you study matters the most. Here's a startling stat. An IIT or IIM graduate's starting salary can be 10 times higher than the salary of a person who's graduated from a tier 3 college. The premium for top institutions is so high that some companies would not even recruit from mid-tier or low-tier colleges. But get this, India has what economists call the educated unemployment paradox. While education generally improves job prospects, NSSO data shows that unemployment rates are actually highest amongst those with graduate degrees at around 17% compared to a bare minimum of 3.7% for those with primary education. Weird, right? It's partly because expectations rise with education, making graduates less likely to accept certain types of jobs. Now, gender plays a huge role too. Despite women outperforming men academically, their workforce participation remains stubbornly low at 23%. Well, that's like a lot of economic potential sitting on the sidelines. Oh, and this might surprise you. The highest ROI often comes from vocational courses. A 2-year diploma in specialized fields like healthcare technology or advanced manufacturing can yield starting salaries comparable to many 4-year degrees, that too at a fraction of time and cost. And well, if you think getting a degree guarantees a job, think again. A study shows that 80% of Indian engineering graduates are not considered employable without any additional training, which, ouch. But wait, there's more to the story than just average salaries. The economics of education in India has a very fascinating regional dimension to it as well. Did you know that economic returns in the southern states of India, like Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, are nearly double to those of what they are in the northern region of India, like Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, which is partly also due to the concentration of high paying industries and multinational corporations in the southern regions. Now, there's also a matter of social capital. First generation learners from rural areas face significantly hidden costs ranging from language barriers to networking disadvantages. Yet, for these students, the relative economic mobility from a degree can be way more dramatic, potentially doubling or tripling their family's socio-economic status in just a single generation. Here's something that would not make headlines: the economics of option creation. An engineering degree from a mid tier engineering college might not guarantee a high paying tech job, but at the same time, it does open a lot of new avenues, like it opens doors to MBA programs, civil service examinations, and other pathways that would not be accessible otherwise. Speaking of options, what about studying abroad? The number of Indian students heading overseas has doubled in just 5 years to 7.5 lakhs. But the international tuition fees, which often exceeds 50 lakh rupees per year, the break even point can be 8 to 10 years of post graduation work, assuming that you have a high paying job. Let's speak at those Scandinavian countries again. Beyond free tuition, they've created something remarkable: true lifelong learning systems. In Denmark, not only is university free, but working adults receive stipends to return for additional education throughout their careers. And what is the result? The highest adult participation in the country's education globally is at 47% in Denmark. Whereas, what is India's figure? Just 3%. So, is there a better way to think about it? India's NEP 2020 represents the most ambitious. In my personal opinion, it carries a very utopian vision for the nation's education system. It attempts to reimagine higher education in decades. One innovative concept it introduces is the ABC, the Academic Bank of Credits. Think of it as a financial account where instead of money, you deposit learning credits that never expire. This could fundamentally change how we value education by making learning more flexible and cumulative. Now, another fascinating development is income share agreements, which are still being tested by skill academies in India. So, wherein instead of paying upfront, students give a percentage of their income after landing a job, which leads to alignment of incentives as well as shifting of risks from students to institutions. Another mind-bending stats. According to World Economic Forum, 65% of children entering primary school today will ultimately work in job types that do not yet exist. This fundamentally challenges the economics of specialized degrees. The gig economy is reshaping too. The average urban Indian gig work with specialized platform skills can earn more than many entry-level corporate employees with traditional degrees. For instance, a high-paying Swiggy delivery partner or an urban company beautician can earn upwards of rupees 40,000 monthly, exceeding many BPO or entry-level banking salaries. Some elite global universities are also experimenting with completely new models. For example, Singapore subsidizes education based on chosen field of study, with critical sectors receiving up to 80% of subsidies. India's own IITs are evolving too, launching micro credentials and executive education that end up generating more revenue per teaching hour than their traditional programs, which creates new economic models for premium institutions as well. So, is college worth it? Well, the economist's favorite answer comes here. It depends. For many Indians, especially those who can access quality public institutions or secure scholarships to top private ones, the economic data still strongly supports getting a degree. The earnings premium remains substantial, particularly for technical and professional programs aligned with market demands. But the blanket statement, go to college, any college, no longer holds up economically. The combination of rising costs, quality concerns, and changing labor market, which brings me to a very interesting article that I read in the newspaper lately, which said India needs skilled labor market, not mindless toil. So these decisions deserve serious financial analysis and not just tradition or prestige chasing. Perhaps the most valuable insight comes from education economists who suggest thinking of higher education not as a single decision but as a series of options, each with different costs, risks, and potential payoffs. Like any good investment portfolio, diversification is what matters. The future likely belongs to hybrid models, combining formal credentials with continuous skill development, traditional learning with digital alternatives, and immediate employment with long term adaptability. After all, in a world where the half life of professional skills is shrinking to just 5 years, the most valuable education might be the one that teaches you how to keep learning economically and effectively throughout your life. For Economically Speaking, I am Bhavya. Thanks for joining me on this economic journey through the graduation gates.